Hi everyone, Donna McElvaney back again with another planned pooling video. Today's video is Red Heart with Love in Fruit Punch. Alright, so the first thing we do is we look at our hook size, what it suggests, hook size suggestion, and it is a 6.5 millimeter K hook, 10.5. And so we're just going to begin. Alright, so I have not done this one before. Oh, every time I pull out from the middle of these with loves, it's just a mess. So I'm going to do it anyway. Alright, so you may have noticed lately I have done a whole lot. I've been doing a whole lot of videos in the last week. Probably 6 videos in as many days. And all these yarns that I'm using really are ones from my stash. I had bought these last year whenever I had first begun the pooling videos and stuff. I had quite a break in pooling whenever I was affected by an antibiotic, Levaquin. There was a long break in there where I didn't do any videos. I wasn't able to crochet because Levaquin had damaged my joints so badly. My wrists, even my fingers and stuff. So my knees, both my ankles are still quite messed up. So there was quite a long lull in there between videos. So I had all this yarn stashed back. Levaquin, another name for Levaquin is also levofloxacin, a very popular antibiotic right now, and ciprofloxacin, very, very popular antibiotics. So that was why there was a long break in there. Have not been able to return to work since, unfortunately. And thankfully, I am able to crochet again. I do still have achy joints. My wrists can be very achy at times. But I've been putting out a whole lot of videos this last week because here in another week, I'm going to be taking a trip down to Texas. I'm going to go see all my families from Texas. I'm originally from Texas. I live in Illinois. I hate Illinois. I have a great church family, though. My daughter goes to a great school and stuff, so we're just kind of stuck here for the duration. But thankfully, a great church family is wonderful. But whenever I am going to be in Texas, I won't be doing any videos, and I'll be there for a while. Alright, so started with the blue. So it looks like from blue to blue, because then we have green, orange, fuchsia, orange, green, blue. Green, orange, fuchsia, orange, green, and blue. So we're going to start with the blue. 2, 3rd from the hook, and I might do 4th from the hook. 2, 3, because it is such a big hook and it's such a big fat crochet. So we'll do 4th from the hook. Skip 1, single crochet into the next one, and chain 1. So it's the moss stitch. I just kind of assume that everybody knows that by now. That's why I just kind of go on, and I don't really do a whole lot of instructing at times on the moss stitch. It's a single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, chain 1, skip 1. And you want to keep your stitches clean. You don't want muddy legs. So in all these stitches right now, so I flip it over, I look, I've got 2 blue stitches, 2 blues, 2 greens. That's an example of it kind of going a little bit muddy there. There's a little bit of orange mixed into that green one. So you want to keep your legs to be clean. I've got 1 orange, and now I'm continuing on with this fuchsia color. And this is Red Heart with Love Fruit Punch. There's another one that it's fruit punch, but it's got some kind of silvery mixed in it. I actually have that one too. All right, so that orange is nice and clean. 2 orange ones there. You want to keep your stitch count the same. Tighten this up a little bit because I want to get clean legs. No muddy legs, no split legs. I want clean stitches. Alright, so I started with blue, but we're going to do 2 sequences here. So you want the second sequence to match up correctly with your first sequence. How many blue stitches did I have? I had 2 blue. Here I only have 1 blue. So I'm going to tighten that up a little bit. I've got 2 greens. Now this green doesn't necessarily match up with this green because it could have been a separate color in this color sequence. So this is not the same green as this one. This orange is not the same orange as this one because it's blue, green, orange, pink, orange, green. So these could have been purple and red per se. It is nice whenever these colors do match up with the same color count, but they don't necessarily have to. So if you have 3 greens on this side, just remember that it would go pink, orange, 3 green. And that's how that would work. I've noticed with this Red Heart with Loves, number 1, they have all so far used a K-hook, but that is a very muddy blue with that green. They all suggest a K-hook so far, all the ones that I have gotten. And the other thing I've noticed is that they do have repeating colors like this. Within a sequence, they will have 2 of 1 or 2 colors. And so far that's been true with all 3 Red Heart with Loves that I have done so far. Alright, so I went back and I tightened that up a little bit. I tightened up that green to where I would have more blue to make 2 blue stitches. We want, in order to pull, you have to offset by 1 stitch. Most time, easiest way to decipher that is to offset that 1 stitch in the turn. Because you know it's always going to be in that turn. It's easy to recognize that turn. It's always in the long tail side. You eat up 1 of your stitches in the turn, and by doing so, you do like a modified puff stitch. You do looser chains, an extra chain if have to, something to eat up an extra stitch. I've got 3 fuchsia, 3 fuchsia. Okay. So another way of doing it though, to where you don't have to eat up a stitch in the turn, is by offsetting 1 of your colors by 1 stitch. So either making it an extra stitch or loosening it up and making it 1 less stitch. So here I am, and I'm to the blue. All right. So I just chained 2 on that to turn, and that's going to give me 1 blue stitch starting here. And actually, that's all the variation that this needs. So I don't have to go through and change a stitch anywhere. I didn't have to do a modified puff here to eat up this stitch because the chain 2 took enough of it. So let's just stick with that. I was trying to figure out what stitch I was going to have to offset and loosen them up to make only 1 stitch. See, like right there, I only have 1 orange. But I can't just leave it as 1 orange. I have to have 2 because I only have 1 blue here. And if I did it this way, if I had just 1 orange stitch here, I would have to follow through the entire project with just 1 orange stitch at this 1 location. In my other videos, I put a piece of yarn of a contrasting color in the segment where I am doing the variation. So I would have put, say, a yellow piece of yarn in that orange if I was going to leave that as one orange stitch. But I'm not. I'm going to keep going. You can do that though. If it looks like though I'm not going to have any problems on these turns. I'm not going to have to eat up extra yarn because it is Red Heart with Love, I've noticed, works that way fairly well. See, I've got one green and I need to make it 2 greens. Your first row and your second row need to be identical in your color counts. And also being careful not to split a stitch, not to split the middle of that V. You want to go into the space of your chain 1. So here's the stitches, I chained 1, I want to go into the space that that chain 1 creates. I just did Bon. It was a little bit of a train wreck, so if you watch that one, I apologize. It is a train wreck. But it worked. I made some mistakes in it, and I showed how to, even though I made a mistake somewhere along the line, I just kept going with it, making sure that my stitches lined up in the correct places. And colorway is such a crazy fast print. The color changes are so quick. They're just little bitty segments of colors. So it was kind of a mess. It went well though. And I was able to show how even if you make a mistake somewhere, the most important thing is to make your colors line up appropriately. I may switch to my J-hook because I'm having to really squeeze these colors out of here. Alright, so on the corner, it's like, where do I put my stitch at? You put it right in here in this chain space where you chained, where you went to the 3rd or 4th from the hook. Chain 2, turn. Okay, so if I do 2 blue stitches here, then I'm going to stack. So I need to only do 1 stitch here. I did only 1 stitch here. Going back, checking all my colors. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 1. Seriously? Seriously. Okay, so once again, I made an error in my chain. I must have been talking, didn't pay attention, because I'm supposed to have 2 blue stitches here. I'm supposed to make 2 blue stitches here. But guess what? If I make 2 blue stitches here, it's going to be all wrong. So from here on out, this has to be 1 orange stitch. Yay. That's just fantastic. Okay. That was not my intention to do, but I've noticed here lately I've been making several mistakes like this. Alright, so I'm going to do 1 blue stitch here. Alright, and now I'm going to do my 2 greens. So I could tell whenever I had done that, oh dear, I must have made a mistake somewhere along the line. And instead of frogging it all out, I'm just going to continue on with my mistake, which is right here. So I can only do 1 orange stitch. So I made that kind of loose. 1 orange stitch here, and now 3 fuchsias. So in this mistake, this pulling pattern, I'll call it, is making it pull going this way. This way. Okay, so That's what happens if you come to your corner. If you come to your turn and you're going to stack, or it's way further off and it's not up one over one, then you've made a mistake somewhere. You can either go and hunt down your mistake and correct it, then it would be pulling in this direction, not this one. Or you can just live with it and continue on making it work with what you have. For video and time's sake, we are going to make it work. As they say in Project Runway, make it work. So we make it work. I also do a lot of sewing as well. Okay, so 2 green. And in plan pulling, most of the times you do just have to make it work. Muddy fuchsia leg. See that? Yeah. So I would need to tighten those up a bit to make it to where it's nice and crisp like the front side. And 3 fuchsias. 2 orange, making sure I'm at a 2 orange section here and not my 1 orange section. Yeah. So had I done that on purpose, then I would have made 2 blue stitches here. So had I done that 1 orange on purpose, I would have marked it as my 1 orange, and then I would have made 2 blue stitches land on this turn. And then that would have made this be this way. It would have put these 2 stitches here and here, and the pattern would then be pulling in this direction. It's really all mathematical. Muddy stitch, fix that. Now what? Green. Okay, so it needs to be green here, and it is green here. So it also might wind up being to where this has to now be 1 blue stitch because of my orange mayhem mess up. Okay, so this orange is lining up with this one, with this stitch here. So if you caught that in the video, my first time around, that I only did 1 orange stitch, good for you. And that is how we recover without going back and fixing it. If you come to a turn and you see you're stacking or you're way off, then you've made a mistake somewhere. You can either go back, start all over, or you can hunt down your mistake and fix it, or you can just make it work. I know I've already said that once, but I'd like to reiterate it. I'm pretty sure that's what happened in Bon Bon. I didn't go back and find my mistake, I just went with it. Alright, so on this side, I'm thinking that I can only have 1 blue, and this is correct. So just 1 blue stitch. So I have 1 orange stitch, and now I have 1 blue stitch. And here's my 1 orange stitch. It's right here. So nice big fat orange stitch. Didn't work so well. I'm gonna loosen these up. That's going to be a muddy green there a little bit. I could do a modified puff here instead on that turn, but I'm not. I'm just going to keep going. We're not going to do any modified puffs on this one. I've done offset it like crazy. Still not quite there. So I am going to do a modified puff right here. There you go. Modified puff in the middle of the row. Keep on going. Muddy orange. I saw on one of the posts on the plan pooling page on Facebook where somebody had did the modified puffs on purpose. So it was like, and it was with antique. So it made it look so cool because every stitch in that one section of every stitch of that color, I believe it would have been 2 stitches. So she made them all into modified puff stitches. So instead of it being 2 stitches, it became 1. It became 1 modified puff throughout the entire project for that color all the way through it. It was so cool because it made it texturized, it made it raised. So like it really stood out and it made it look way totally awesome. Some really cool variations that people have done with plan pooling. And some instead of an argyle, it's done like an hourglass shape. They call that the cat can down method because I believe, let's see, she was a person who first did that and posted it on Facebook. So everybody named it after her. And that's a really cool method too. Okay, so here's where I've only done 1 blue. So this is 2 blue. And if I do 2 blue here, guess what happens? I start stacking because I have a green here and a green here. So I need to have a green here instead. So I need to have only 1 blue here. And I'm gonna modify puff that one too. So 1 green. Problem is I need 1 more green. Sigh. All right. So I just made them loose. We're going to pretend that that is a green stitch, even though it's half green, half blue. It's going to be green. And then it makes this green land correctly, and then my orange land where it needs to land. And I need 2 orange. Like I said, I probably should have already switched to my J-hook a long time ago because I'm having to do a whole lot of taking it back and tightening these up. More yarn here. Trying to keep my hands in the middle of my screen here. That's gone a little bit better with 2 per color. I'm at orange, so I'm looking to see if this is my 2 orange or my 1 orange, and it's my 2. And I know it's 3 fuchsia. 1, 2, and 3. It's pulling. We already know it's pulling. But it's hard yet to see the pattern whenever you lay it flat. You can see it if you know what you're looking at. And here's blue and green. So there is my modified puff orange right there. I'm just going right around it, treating it like it's a normal stitch. And this side I get 2 blue. Chain 2, turn. No. Why is that? If I do 2 green stitches, they are going to stack. Alright, so I'm checking my other stitches. Did I do an extra stitch somewhere? No. We aren't stacking. So why am I stacking now coming out of this turn? Here's my green. Green. If I do 2 green, it's going to stack. I'm supposed to have a green here and my orange goes here. No clue what has happened here. This is the side I'm supposed to have 2 blue. I don't know, but we're gonna make it work. I'm loosening those up. There we go. And I'm gonna do 1 orange stitch here. So I got it to land where it's supposed to land. I'm gonna have to go ahead and do a partial puff. There we go. So this is another great example of what to do whenever they're not quite going right. You just have to make it work. What did I do? Nothing, we're good. Because these 2 go with these 2. Okay. So hopefully those tips, those mistakes will help you guys also whenever it's not going in the perfect proper place as it should. Since it was the beginning of a project, yes, I would have taken it all apart and would have completely redone it. But this was a good example to show you guys what to do whenever it's not going right. When something has gone wrong somewhere, yes, you can take it all apart, or you can just go with it and make the best of it, and you can fix your mistakes. This is the side where I should only have 1 blue, so I'm just going to go ahead and puff this one. Partial puff it, modify puff it, whatever you want to call it. 2 green. See how this comes out. Chain 2, I need 2 orange. And that is correct, 2 orange. Here and here. Now if I can just get 2 orange out of this, which I can't, of course not. So this green is a muddy split stitch green. See if I can get 2 oranges now. Yes, I can. And 3 fuchsia. Okay, guys. Well, I hope that helps. Many of my other videos, I don't make mistakes in them. They all turn. They come out correctly. But showing mistakes and showing how to overcome those mistakes makes for a great video as well. And making it work. And here you can see the orange going up, the green, and then here's the 2 blue. So I hope that helps you guys, and God bless you all. Happy pooling, and hope you enjoy. Thanks for liking and subscribing, and sharing them whenever you can, and I appreciate you all. Have a great day. God bless.